Okay.
Or she's panning.
I'm panning.
Panning for gold.
Panning for... Okay.
She panned herself.
Yeah. I'm going to sit right in front so that you can hear. Okay. Hit it.
Hello, my name is Lydia Hannaman. I'm a student at Northwest Mississippi Community College, and I'm here to talk to you today about a disorder known as neurofibromatosis. Now, we've all heard of diseases such as cancer, scoliosis, and we've all probably even had the common cold. Neurofibromatosis is not as common. It is only babies, 1 in about 25,000, I believe, are born with this disease every year. You've probably never heard of it unless you actually have it. I actually do know somebody that has it, which is why I decided to do my speech on this topic. Today I'm going to share everything that I have learned about this condition, and I'm actually going to define neurofibromatosis. I'm going to talk about some of the symptoms, and I'm going to distinguish between all the types. I'll explain the risks and the complications, and then I'll talk about how you diagnose it. So to start off, to better understand it, I'm going to define neurofibromatosis for you. Neurofibromatosis is a genetic disorder that disturbs cell growth in the nervous system, causing tumors to form on nerve tissue. These disorders are known as neurofibromatosis type 1, neurofibromatosis type 2, and schwannomatosis. For this speech, I'm going to refer to neurofibromatosis type 1 and 2 as NF1 and 2. Now that you know what neurofibromatosis actually is, I think it's important that you know more about each type. And also, I'll go into the symptoms that you need to look out for and what causes neurofibromatosis. WebMD.com distinguishes between these two types. NF1 is also called von Recklinghausen neurofibromatosis. Some symptoms of this type include patches of light brown or tan skin and neurofibromas, which are tumors. Scoliosis is another symptom, and I don't know if it's really a symptom because a lot of people have them, but learning disability is also something I discovered. Neurofibromatosis NF2 is called bilateral NF. Multiple tumors on the nerves is a symptom, and tumors that cause hearing loss is also a sign. As I mentioned, this is a genetic disorder. However, 30 to 50% of babies born with this disorder have no family history of it. So we have no idea where it comes from in that 30 to 50%. Some signs of NF1 include tumors, nerve-related pain, and bone deformities. NF2 symptoms include hearing loss, dizziness, poor balance, and cataracts. Now I'm going to move on to the diagnosis. There are several ways of diagnosing neurofibromatosis. A physical exam, x-rays, MRIs, CAT scans, CT scans, and genetic testing for that 20% that actually have family history of it are just a few ways that doctors can test for this condition. And then after the diagnosis comes ways to treat it. A website called drugs.com will tell you how. Now, while there are cures for like the common cold and they're working on cures for cancer, there is no cure for neurofibromatosis. However, it can be treated. For NF1, surgery to remove the tumors that grow in the body, surgery or a back brace to correct the spine curvature, and medicine for headaches and epileptic seizures. Some risks and complications of this. From kidshealth.org, I found out that while the tumors are usually benign, it is important that you make sure that they do not become cancerous. Because if that becomes cancerous, then you have to worry about going through chemotherapy and radiation, which would not be good. Chronic pain, back pain mainly, is a sign that is something you need to worry about. And again, learning disabilities. Now, after hearing what I've had to say today, you might think it's a little bit easier to understand, which I agree it is. But there are still many unknown factors about neurofibromatosis. Today I spoke with you a little bit about neurofibromatosis. I told you the definition. I talked about each type, how it's diagnosed, the treatment, and the risks and complications. It's actually a not so common disorder, or a genetic condition, we'll say. And this disorder is not something to play around with. If you notice any of these symptoms, or you have a loved one that is experiencing any of these symptoms, you need to get it checked out immediately, because this could mean the difference between life and death. And as we all know, having a hard life is better than having no life at all. My name is Lydia Hannaman, and thank you so much for your time.